Some cities in Europe are under the control of drug lords, with the police increasingly unable to combat the battles between various gangs for territorial dominance. In other cities, the rise of youth gangs is becoming a serious concern, with several minors falling victim. In all the cities featured in this video, residents have noticed a significant rise in crime over the past 5 years. Today, we will explore the 10 most dangerous cities in Europe based on the perception of their residents, the cities where people fear crime the most. Since perception and actual crime rates don't always align, please share your experiences in the comments. Welcome to this new video from Amazing Europe. Number 10, Malmö, Sweden. After 65 shootings and 62 uses of grenades or small explosives occurred in 2017, the city decided to take action. And it did so not only with the police but also by directly bringing citizens together with criminal gangs. This project is called Stop Shooting, and it began in Malmö in October 2018. 40 city residents met in a gym with 10 young members of criminal gangs. The message they wanted to convey was this: we don't want you to die, and we don't want you to hurt anyone else. We will stop you if you make us, and we will help you if you let us. Since the project's inception, violence in Malmö has steadily decreased. In 2020, there were only 20 shootings and 17 explosions. Of the approximately 300 men reached by Stop Shooting, 40 are now in prison, but another 49 have joined a city program to help people leave gangs and restart their lives. Various studies have shown that the social marginalization and economic disadvantages faced by many Arab communities in Sweden cause many young people to see crime as their only chance for redemption. Number 9, Paris, France. Of the 13 points analyzed by Numbeo, Parisians have a moderate level of fear in 7 points and a high level of fear in 6 points. For example, Parisians are very afraid of being mugged or robbed, afraid of being insulted, and also afraid of drug-related crimes. Regarding home burglaries, after recording a sharp increase in 2022, home thefts seem to have stabilized, with 8.6 crimes per 1,000 inhabitants. The highest number of incidents was noted in the 15th arrondissement. But if the number of crimes is taken into account in proportion to the inhabitants, the center of Paris is by far the most affected. Regarding vehicle theft, the 8th arrondissement is the most affected, followed by the 1 Street arrondissement, where the Louvre Museum is located. Slightly increasing are voluntary assaults and beatings. Considering the absolute numbers, the peripheral districts are the most affected. However, if the proportion to the number of inhabitants is taken into account, the 1 Street arrondissement is the most affected, with 31 assaults per 1,000 inhabitants. Number 8, Liège, Belgium. In Liège, there is little fear of suffering a physical attack because of your skin color, ethnic origin, gender, or religion. But this seems to be the only positive news, as in 8 of the 13 categories analyzed by Numbeo, the residents of this beautiful city express a high level of fear. In reality, looking at the actual data, there are 3 times more crimes in Paris compared to Liège, always in proportion to the number of inhabitants. This is a case where perception and reality do not always coincide. To be clear, we are not saying that Liège has little crime. In fact, Liège is one of the 3 least safe cities in Belgium, based on actual data. In recent years, there has been a concerning increase in drug-related crimes in Liège. In 2023, they increased by 16.7% compared to the previous year. Overall, however, crime seems to be slightly decreasing. In particular, there was a 40% decrease in bicycle thefts in 2023. Number 7, Grenoble, France. It is the second French city on this list, and it won't be the last. According to its residents' perception, Grenoble is slightly more dangerous than Paris. However, considering the actual data, Paris still takes the lead, albeit slightly. But there are several crimes in which Grenoble surpasses Paris. Physical assaults, car thefts, and robberies are more frequent in this southern French city, always considering crimes in proportion to the number of inhabitants. In 2023, there were 15 homicides in Isère, the department of Grenoble. In France, some areas are much worse off, as we will see later in the video. Sexual assaults are also a concern, constantly increasing every year. In 2023, there were 1,680 cases. Armed robberies have also increased, with 200 in 2023 compared to 140 in 2022. Grenoble is the 3rd city in France for this type of crime. In France, some call it the French Chicago. We would really like to know the opinion and experience of the French who follow us. Number 6, Catania, Italy. It is the only Sicilian city on this list, but not the only Italian one. Considering the actual crime data, it is indeed the most dangerous city in Sicily, but it ranks only 26th at the national level. Again, we see that perception and reality do not always go hand in hand. However, there are some crimes that are very prevalent in Catania. In particular, car thefts are very high. In 2023, more than 5 car thefts per 1,000 inhabitants were recorded in Catania, more than double the Italian average. Robberies are also very high, and the Sicilian city ranks 15th in Italy for this type of crime. Here, crime goes hand in hand with a truly critical social situation. Female unemployment is the highest in Italy. Excluding the informal work, which is very high, only 21% of women have a job. 20,000 people flee this city each year to move to northern Italy or abroad. A quarter of students under the age of 18 drop out of school. In Italy, schooling is compulsory until the age of 16. Many of the students in Catania who drop out of school do so before the age of 16. In the first half of 2022, there were 808 civil proceedings for school dropout or truancy activated by the Juvenile Prosecutor's Office. Number 5, Montpellier, France. Crime in Montpellier was so high that the authorities deemed it necessary to put the Écusson district, the historic center of the city, under increased surveillance. A local crime treatment group was created, with increased police controls. This intervention was strongly requested by the citizens, especially after a shooting and a stabbing occurred in May 2023. However, according to official data, overall crime seems to be decreasing in this city. From 2019 to 2022, home burglaries decreased by 32%, while vehicle thefts decreased by 8%. Armed robberies have also decreased. However, interviewing the citizens shows that they have a very high perception of increasing crime in Montpellier over the last 5 years. It should be noted, however, that there has been a concerning increase of 53% in sexual violence, compared to a national increase of 42%. Number 4, Naples, Italy. Naples has always been known as one of the European cities with the most crime. Numbeo reports that in 8 out of 13 indicators, residents perceive a high level of fear. Indeed, this fear seems to be justified, although there are Italian cities with more crime that do not appear on this list. It is the leading city in Italy for reports of mafia-related criminal activities. However, as we explained in this video, the most dangerous criminal organization in Italy is not the Camorra, which is based in Naples and Campania, but the Calabrian 'Ndrangheta. It is also first in Italy for smuggling, especially cigarettes. It is third in Italy for counterfeiting brands and industrial products, with 19 reports per 100,000 inhabitants. However, the police are sure that the actual figures are much higher than the reports. It is second in Italy for robberies and third for money laundering. Another concerning phenomenon is the rise of youth gangs. The police report that these gangs are becoming more numerous, younger, and more armed. Number 3, Birmingham, United Kingdom. In 2019, 690 children under the age of 16 were victims of threats or knife assaults in the West Midlands county, of which Birmingham is the main city. 13 of them were not even 10 years old. These figures have doubled since 2012, as has the number of children or teenagers in possession of cold weapons, which do not involve fire or explosions. In Birmingham, several nightclubs have even installed metal detectors at the entrances in an attempt to intercept weapons. The overall crime rate in Birmingham in 2022 was 145 crimes per 1,000 inhabitants. In addition to armed violence, other common crimes in Birmingham include sexual assaults, offences against public officials, and bicycle thefts. Overall, reports in Birmingham have nearly doubled in the last 7 years. Number 2, Coventry, United Kingdom. Coventry is another city in the West Midlands county, the same as Birmingham. In fact, although Coventry beats Birmingham in the perceived crime list, its actual crime rate is slightly lower than that of the county capital. There are, however, some crimes where Coventry surpasses Birmingham. For example, drug-related crimes, bicycle theft, and vehicle crimes. The situation in Coventry is concerning. Some suburbs of the city, including the central one, have a crime rate more than 200% of the national average. Also in Coventry, as in Birmingham, crime has doubled in a few years. The BBC interviewed some children asking their opinion about life in Coventry. The interviewees described life in that city as just terrible, awful, rough. They also said they are often afraid to leave their homes, as they have already witnessed terrible scenes of violence. Before revealing the European city whose inhabitants perceive a high level of crime, if you found this video informative, we kindly invite you to give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and click the bell to activate all notifications. Thank you very much. Number 1. Marseille, France. In 2023, there were 49 murders in Marseille, including 7 children. In 2022, there were 31 murders. Most of these murders are drug-related. Comparing with Naples, another major European city for drug trafficking, we see that there were 14 murders in the Italian city in 2023, 3.5 fewer than in the French city. Crimes mostly occur in the peripheral areas of the city. These neighborhoods are mostly controlled by gangs fighting each other for territory control. Residents have repeatedly complained that the police presence is insufficient. Cases of kidnapping and torture are increasingly frequent. The Marseille prosecutor stated that sometimes these happen just because a young dealer stole €20 from the drug proceeds to buy himself a sandwich. We do not know if Marseille is really the most dangerous city in Europe, but crime is certainly a serious problem in this wonderful coastal city. And the residents are aware of it, given that in 11 out of the 13 points examined by Numbeo, they claim to perceive a high level of crime. We are really looking forward to your opinions and experiences in the comments. If you found this topic interesting, we recommend the video on European countries with the highest crime rates, but based not on the perception of residents, but on real crime data. You can find it at the top right of the screen. That's all for this video. See you next time.